Alright, YouTube, I'm back with another props video. Once again, we lost our last bet, our main bet by 2 points. SGA needed 30. He only had 28 because he sat the whole entire fourth quarter and the last 3 minutes of the third. But he was off to a fire start. So, like I said, circumstances, he crushed. But today, for Thursday, December 11th, this is a slate we have. So, we have the Clippers versus the Rockets. I think that that's going to be a solid matchup. Celtics versus Bucks, Trailblazers versus Pelicans, and Nuggets versus Kings. I'm not even going to waste your time. I'm going to get into my two favorite props for today, and it's going to stem from this game right here, the Trailblazers versus New Orleans Pelicans. Before we get into that, let's look at the injury report. Yang Hassan, game time decision. Drew Holiday out, huge. Robert Williams, game time decision. Donovan Clingan out. Thibault is out as well. For the Blazers and for the Pelicans, you got Jordan Poole, game time decision. That would be huge. Zion Williamson out. DeJounte Murray out. Per usual. All right. Now, what I like about this prop is after today's loss, I really wanted to consider a good matchup. And as you can see, the line opened at -5.5 and then went down to -4.5. Despite the record of the Pelicans, they've been having a little push as of recently. Like, if we look at their last five, it's terrible. You know what I'm saying? They lost to the bad Brooklyn Nets, but hey, fucking MPJ went crazy. 35, I believe. But they barely lost to the Spurs by 3 points. They lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves by 9 after playing them and taking them to overtime by 7. And then they lost to the Lakers by, 12? So, you know what I'm saying, double-digit losses in a couple of these, but these were good games. They gave good fights. You know what I'm saying? They don't have anybody that's going to close on their team, but they're going to keep it close to the very end. Like, none of these teams were subbing out any of their starters. So, with that being said, I don't have to worry about my player, Denny Avdia, being subbed out. He should be able to get his full minutes playing against the Pelicans. By the way, they're at the bottom of the West. They're not a bad team either, in my opinion. They're just a team that's going through a lot. Now, his line is at 26.5, but what I want you to do is I want you to buy down the points. Now, if you want to take this 26.5 line, I didn't do my research on the 26.5 line. Maybe if it was 25.5, because on Bet365, that's where it was at. I think the best, they usually tell you the best line. The best line is on Hard Rock Bet. I'm on Bet365, and that line is 25.5. But even there, I took it down at 25 just because the odds are -130. He's covered that line plenty of times. I can't give you the exact number of times because I didn't look how many times he covered it. However, versus the bottom 10 teams in points allowed, he's covered it a lot. Let's look at it right here. He's even covered this 26.5 line a lot. But let's see who he covered it against. New Orleans before, he gave them 32. Go figure, he's playing them again. Chicago, bottom of the pack as far as points allowed. He gave them 32. The Kings. No, this is the Spurs. Sorry, they're a top team. Top team. But let's look at some of these teams like Milwaukee, right? He gave them 22. He didn't hit that line. Chicago, we already went over that. So he's played actually a lot of solid teams. But 8 out of the last 15 games, he covered the line of 27. I like him at 25 for the simple fact of they have a lot of injuries. Let's go back to this. In game time decisions or whatever. He's been hooping as of recently as well. But Drew Holiday being out, that's a certain amount of points you're missing. Donovan Clingan, that's a rebound. So that's going to keep the Pelicans in the game. I just like it because Abdi is going to get his shots up. He is the second leading on the team as far as field goal attempts, only behind Shaedon Sharpe. I look at Shaedon Sharpe's line. I didn't like his line as much as I like Denny Avdia's line. I trust Denny Avdia's line a lot more. He's in top 15 in scoring in the NBA. He's more reliable. I like to look at my bets as investments, and I would rather invest into Denny than I would invest into Shaedon Sharpe just because he showed me more this season. So my pick for this is 25 points for Denny Avdia. On to the next game. Before I get to the next game, I need you to drop a like. And I need you to subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm dropping daily updates, daily free picks, daily free bets, And I'm also doing a $50 to $500 challenge if you want to tune into that. I'll be dropping those every Sunday, so make sure you turn on notifications if you want to be a part of the journey. Next, we have the Nuggets versus the Kings. Julian Strawther's out, Aaron Gordon out. This is major. He's out for the rest of the year. Not the year, the rest of the 2025 year. He'll be back January 2nd, 26. Christian Brown out as well January 9th, 2026. What that means is a lot of people want to be stepping up. Jamal Murray has been going crazy recently. But for the Kings, Zach LaVine out. This is their leading scorer right now. He's out. Dennis Schroeder game time decision. They're going to need him. Even though Russell Westbrook's been going crazy, Sabonis is out as well. So they're definitely handicapped, and they're not handicapped numbers wise. They're handicapped like points and power wise. But my pick for today, Jokic. How could we not go with Jokic? With Aaron Gordon being out, he's going to have to do a little bit more. By the way, they run everything through him. So if anybody's going to have an opportunity to hit this line, it's going to be him. His line is at 28.5. The projection has him going over. That's just my secondary source. I also looked at his rebounds. I didn't like his rebounds. I probably would take the under on rebounds. But as far as points, he's covered it 8 out of the last 15. That's a little over 50%. I want to say that's 53%. But versus teams that are, the bottom 10 in points allowed, he was at 28. So he missed his line by a point. Let's look at Sacramento. That's who he's playing. He dropped 44 versus them. New Orleans, he missed it by a point. Chicago, 36. Sacramento again, 35. So historically versus Sacramento, he goes crazy. He crushes his line. And the probability that I got was a little better than the probability of a minus 125 odd. Actually, I got my odds at minus 115 on Bet365. Let's see. Where's the damn minus 120 best odds? Okay, I guess this is the best odds right now, but I got him at minus 115 on the over. So the value of that was a lot better. So I would say if you want to do this pick, definitely go through Bet365 if you can. But this is my solid pick for today. Like I said, they're going to need him. They always need him anyway. They lose without him. He's the MVP for a reason. No Aaron Gordon. Huge. And this is a Kings team who has seen them multiple times. They know how they like to play. I expect this to be at least a solid game. My only concern is blowout potential. In the 12 games that the Kings have played a top 10 team in field goal percentage, they have been blown out 8 out of those 12 times. That's a 66% chance. So versus opponents that are like the Nuggets, the Kings have been blown out 66% of the time. Which means in the real probability in my head is that they'll be blown out 66% of the time. You feel me? So I rather lean towards the Pelicans, who have only been blown out 43%, opposed to the Kings, who've been blown out 66%. Meaning the Pelicans have a really good chance at keeping this game close, more than half, really more than 50%, 57% to be exact. So that's why Denny Avdija will be my main pick, and then Jokic will be my second pick. Jaylen Brown's numbers haven't dropped yet. Let's see if they drop here. He was going to be somebody I looked at. I didn't do my research on this, but if I could get a line around 28.5, I probably would do it. His last line was at 28.5. Okay, his line is at 29.5 now. I don't know if the odds are worth it, but they are playing the Bucks. Now the Bucks will not have Giannis, but the Bucks are also a bottom team in points allowed. So if we look at those other bottom teams in points allowed, has he covered the Nets? No, he didn't cover against the Nets twice. That's important. But he did cover against Washington. But Jaylen Brown is my bucket. So like, you know what I'm saying? If anybody's want to get points, I think that Jaylen Brown can handle it. Do your own research. Out of all these picks, tell me what you like. Drop them in the comments. And if you have any other picks that you want to share, feel free to do so. And I'll catch y'all boys tomorrow.